Jelly printing with Karen Burchill. Let's get it out there right off the bat. I am by no means a jelly print expert. I'm often as surprised as anyone else when something turns out great. I have learned, though, that as soon as I decided to just have fun, great things started to happen. So here I'm using a homemade stamp, and I'm just pressing it into the jelly plate that I have put a red and a silver together. And I take off one print, and I'm taking off another print. My plan is to add some layers to different prints along the way, just see what happens. I never know where a jelly printing session is going to lead. One of the things that I like to do is put a light and a dark of the same color. I find that works really good. Here you see me using the homemade texture plates. I've done a video and I will put a link. Click on the eye that appears and that will take you to that video. I'm using a combination of Ceramcoat, acrylics, Martha Stewart all-purpose paint, and my Liquitex Basics. I've used all equally well. So you see me, after I put the texture plate with the deli paper, pressing in, and I'm getting some print off on that. To the right you see I have a Reader's Digest, and I brayer off onto that. And I will use those pages as well. They'll go in my big blue box file folder storage system. And you can see the video on that if you click on the eye as well. So there's a bubbles texture plate that I created from one of my stencils, and homemade or spackle wall compound. I also like to mix one color with a metallic. I buy just the cheap silver metallic paint from the dollar store, and when I add it to all the colors, it makes them all metallic, kind of softens the color, and I get a really nice effect for very cheap. As I said, I am putting this on to deli paper, and I am primarily sticking to colors that are going to go for a Valentine's heart-themed page that I have in mind. So again, another texture plate, and I'm printing off, and I'm getting build-up layers. So you'll see me grab some of my old prints and put more as we go. At the end, I will show you all the finished prints, as many of them changed quite a bit. Teal and a pink will, when combined, make a nice purple. So you get the three colors in there. That's something that I learned by doing jelly printing. When you mix colors, you get an idea of what mixes together and what you like, and then you can use that information on other pages at other times. So there I have navy and a pink. And again, I'm just playing with the colors that I have. My Ceramcoat paints are about 15, 20 years old, and I'm hoping to use them up. So there you saw me using a credit card or a key card that I basically just cut to be a texture tool that I pressed across the paint. Here I'm hoping the yellow and the red are going to make kind of a peachy color, orange color. And there's my homemade texture tool. Again, I'm just making some swivel marks. If this video is going too fast, there is a gear that you can adjust and slow down the video. Just be aware that it will change the voice as well. But if you want to see this in slower motion, that is a good way to do it. Just turn off the sound. At times you'll see me put too much paint right here and it's too wet. Often I just brayer off a little bit more onto the page, or I'll pull some extra sheets off. There's another texture plate that I've created with bubble wrap. The Martha Stewart Pearlized All-Purpose Paint, All-Surface Paint, I'm not sure if it's intended to be on there, and I would definitely caution you not to leave it on extra long since it is all-purpose. It doesn't quite have the same texture. There's my brand new stencil from Joggles, and one of my favorite color combos using the dark cherry and gold. It's just created some lovely, lovely prints. Now when I buy stencils, I do look for stencils that may look good with, may work well with my jelly prints. It's one of the reasons I buy more stencils than I do stamps, because my stencils I can do on the jelly prints as well as to do stenciling on my pages. And if you want to know how to clean the acrylic paint off the stencils, click on the eye and you will be shown where the other video is. I have a couple videos showing how to clean stencils quickly and easily. This whole jelly printing session took about an hour and a half. I was just having fun. Sometimes when I want to get creative but I don't really know what I want to make, this is my go-to, because inevitably it's just fun, and it's amazing to see what can show up. If you have hot glue stencils, they work really well with the jelly plate as well. Mine weren't at home at this time, so I wasn't using them, but they work really well, as do homemade stamps. The only thing you need to remember is with stamps, like you saw me do at the very beginning, is stamping off the excess paint so that you get a good clear mark. So there really is no wasted paint in this process. That's my Liquitex Gold. I just want a light coat. I want to add it to some of my other prints. And here I'm looking through, what am I going to add it to? There is a dark purple, Liquitex Basic dark purple. I'm just playing around. My jelly plate is from Gelli Arts, and it is 8 by 10. I also have a 5 by 7 one. This is my go-to, the 8 by 10. I'm thinking this would have looked nice if there was a background color first, but you know, quite often I don't plan out my jelly printing. I think I have purple and gold here. Back to my texture plates. And layering on some of the already painted deli papers. Just adding more layers, more interest. So I'm getting out some more of my stencils just to add a different look on top of many of what I already had. You got to play around with the stencils. If you're using the stencils, some of them are best, I find, the second print or the second pull. Some are better for detailing on something else. If you already have color on the page. There I wanted to do some for a water for another page I might be doing in the future. So even though I'm planning to do my Valentine's one, that kind of snuck in there. This stencil was from Crafter's Workshop. Again, I love how it works with the jelly prints. Another Crafter's Workshop stencil. Decided I better get some hearts on here. Of course, I put way too much silver paint, so it makes a bit of a mess, but you know what? There's nothing you can do wrong. I'm not sure I've done this on here, but what I like to do is use the same stencil, but turn the stencil or turn the paper, and then use the same stencil on the same page. It just gets that kind of layered look that looks very, very nice. So there I took off the paint and I'm putting black in where the hearts are and then getting a jelly print. So I removed the red and then I filled it, getting acrylic paint on both sides of my stencil. So if you don't want to do that, don't do that effect. Again, going to get some of that purple with the mixing teal, and I think that's quinacridone magenta. Putting that on the black, the dark background. Just layering. So I can use some of these in my journals. This, I can just glue it down and it becomes the background for my journal, which means that's my starting point. Then I can just worry about the focal point and the details because all the texture and layers has been developed during the jelly printing process. I also have a lot of videos where I'm using my jelly prints to create different kinds of pages. I do have a playlist called Use Those Jelly Prints, so please check those out. Because trust me, once you get a jelly plate, you will have lots of jelly prints. Coming up in a few seconds, I'm going to be showing the final products. And I just wish you could see them in person because they are so incredible. the layers and the texture that's there. There's just some, you have to see them in person to get the full effect of them. So here are the jelly prints that I created, all the luscious layers. You can see the shiny, the glimmer. I always like to add that. That's a gorgeous, gorgeous one. There's such depth in that print. Some of these I might add more, but they are absolutely beautiful. That stencil looks like it's almost quilted in there. You can see the shimmer and the shine, all with cheap craft silver paint or gold paint. I don't have the gold yet, so I'm using my Liquitex, but really like how the last layer of that one came out. This one, just yumminess. Again, this one, which was just the first pull with the stencil on. Some of these will need more layers. That's why I'm not really stopping to show you. Simple heart on there. More with the gold and the red. I was really liking that color combo. Teal and pink. You have to see these up close to really appreciate all the different layers. Some more of these great pages. They're all different and yet special in their own way. So I hope you've enjoyed watching the process of the jelly print making. Check back. I will be uploading a video of what I use some of these prints in. Thank you for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. That way you're guaranteed to be notified. Thank you.